On this episode of What's Going On with Shipping, it's time for a little sea history. Hi, I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to this very festive holiday edition of What's Going On with Shipping. I can't get more festive than this, I think. So I was asked recently, Sal, if you're going to give someone something for the holidays, what would you give? And I thought about this a long time, what I would do. And one of my big goals of this channel is really to promote the maritime sector, the maritime industry, but also maritime history, maritime heritage, all those aspects that make us aware of the maritime domain. And one of the best resources out there that I think that you can get your hands on is a subscription to Sea History magazine, which is put out by the National Maritime Historical Society. Now, be 100% clear here, I'm a member of the National Maritime Historical Society. I'm on the editorial board for their magazine. I'm also a trustee for them. But this is not a paid advertisement at all. This is me being sincere in my issue with this entity, the National Maritime Historical Society. I think it's a great entity. I think it does a lot of great things I'm going to highlight to you today. And I think it gives you something that is really missing out there. First off, a quarterly magazine that comes to your house that you can actually pick up and read, which I still enjoy immensely. I got to say, when I get my issue of Sea History, there's always an article or two in there on topics that I'm not familiar with. And so I learn a lot from that organization. And the organization itself provides a great deal back to the community and the seafaring community. If you've never heard of the National Maritime Historical Society, it has been around for a while. And one of the things it has done is really kind of celebrated the sea. It tries to raise the awareness of maritime heritage and the role seafarers have played in shaping civilization. And since 1963, they have been doing that. One of the things that I'm most proud of that the National Maritime Historical Society does is they participate in National History Day, which offers maritime prizes to middle and high school students. For several years, I went down to the North Carolina National History Day in Raleigh, North Carolina, representing the National Maritime Historical Society, and we gave awards to students with maritime topics. And so it was a great venue to go into. And this entity has really promoted itself over the years. Now, one of the great things that National Maritime Historical Society has done during the period of COVID, actually, was get a maritime heritage grant from the U.S. government, and so they have been able to digitize all issues of sea history so that you, for no membership cost at all, can go back and look at past issues of sea history. All digitized, all available to you. The only restriction is you can't get the last 2 years of it, and these are the last 2 years right here. So this is a great resource. Even if you don't become a member of Sea History, you can go and take a look at past issues, past articles. They've got a searchable database you can go into, and you can see a great deal of great history and heritage of sea history. If you look at sea history, just looking at this year's 2022's issues back in spring of 2022, there was a series of articles, but I'll highlight one article from each of the past 4 issues to give you an idea of what sea history looks at. So in the spring of 2022 edition, this is the number 178 edition, there was an article by Dave Winkler. And Dave, who is a prolific historian, absolutely fantastic, is working on a book right now on the history of the USS Langley. This is the first U.S. Navy aircraft carrier converted from a collier, the USS Jupiter. And Dave did an article based on his forthcoming book, and it is a great piece of naval history. It talks about it, it talks about the issues and what was learned from the operations of USS Langley and how that vessel really became the basis by which the U.S. developed its naval aviation sector. Next, in the summer of 2022 edition, there was a great story by Michael Ostler, From Pilot to President, Captain John Ainsworth and the Oregon Steam Navigation Company. So one of my favorite things about sea history is this is not just naval history. So you're not just getting navies, but you're also getting the commercial element. And right here, you see this with Captain John Ainsworth and the Oregon Steam Navigation Company. John Ainsworth built a transportation empire in the Pacific Northwest through a combination of business acumen, hard work, and consistent insight as to how to capitalize on being in the right place at the right time. Great maritime history here of the Pacific Northwest. Key element in the United States in its developments of these coastal and inland waterways. Again, something you would not typically pick up or see, and here it is laid out for you in the pages of Sea History. Jump over to the autumn issue 2022, and you have this piece by Bill Thiessen. Now, Bill is a buddy of mine. He is the Coast Guard Atlantic Area historian, and if you want great Coast Guard history, I mean, every year there's at least one article in here by Bill or by the other Coast Guard historians, and they do some great ones. There was an earlier article on the finding of the Coast Guard cutter Bear, but this one right here in the autumn issue, Thesis, Teddy Roosevelt's Guardian of Endangered Seabirds. The Coast Guard's role protecting our natural resources started in 1822, and one of the earliest missions was policing the poachers killing Pacific seabirds in the Hawaiian Islands. So it's not just Coast Guard history, but it's environmental history you're looking at. And in the most recent issue coming out here, a great story, one, again, that doesn't really resonate on the pages, but has huge implications in the present day. Marked for Disaster, the tragic loss and inspiring legacy of the 1554 Spanish plate fleet of Padre Island, Texas, by A.B. Borgen. So here's a story of not just the disaster that befell a Spanish fleet in 1554, but also how it impacts maritime heritage today. The 1964 discovery of a legendary 16th century fleet of treasure-laden ships off the coast of Texas, and the state's legal struggle to establish control over this site inspired the establishment of a legal framework for the protection of Texas underwater heritage assets. How does a sinking of a fleet really inspire and change U.S. laws? If you go on, and again, you want to take a visit, go on over to seahistory.org, and you can take a look. You can look at features. There's always a featured story that is available for you to take a look at from the issues. You'll see a lot of them here. So, for example, a lot of the ones I mentioned, for example, if you want to see the one about the bear, that is the featured story that you'll see in here. And you can go back through the pages and previous articles of Sea History and find one, and you can even find one by yours truly. Magazine 169, Century of the Jones Act. This is my history I wrote on the 200th anniversary of the Jones Act. And you can download these. They have them in magazine format, so if you want to turn the pages, you can do it, or you can download them as PDFs. The other thing that I love about this magazine, and again, it's a unique thing that you get, is it's not just, you know, a couple of big stories you get, but you get these features that are in every episode, so every edition of the magazine. So, for example, Maritime Art News, you find out about what's going on in marine art. You also find out a section here for Sea History for Kids. There is a whole section on the webpage and in every episode on Sea History for Kids, one of the big initiatives that's taking place right now by the National Maritime Historical Society is to create a Sea History for Kids venue just for them, put that together. You also see in here animals in sea history. Again, great features, absolutely fantastic for educators who want little vignettes, short little histories that they can use. You know, make this a gift for a teacher that you know. They also have in here ship notes, seaports, and museum news that you can pick up on. So what's going on in seaports and museums around the world. Keep going on here. There's these classified ads that are out here. But one of the things I really enjoy, and it's a strange thing to say, is I love the ads in Sea History magazine because there are ads you don't typically see anywhere else on organizations and businesses that really cater to the seafarers and sea history. I think it's absolutely great for that. There are book reviews in here. So, you know, what's the latest books coming out in the sector? Deidre O'Regan, who is the editor for Sea History, has a cadre of people who do book reviews for her, including myself. So there's one by me in here on Wide Seas. Absolutely just a really fantastic asset here for learning about a whole variety of information in maritime history and maritime heritage. You can join Sea History for $45 a year. That $45 gets you membership into the organization, and it gets you 4 issues of Sea History for the year. If you're a student or if you're retired, you can do it for just $27.50. And there's higher ones available if you want to support the organization. Again, I'm not trying to sell you on an organization. It's completely up to you. But I thought with holiday season coming around, heading into 2023, one of the things that we've noticed because of the supply chain crisis, because of this channel that's been going on now for almost 2 years, is a lot of people ask me questions about the maritime history, maritime heritage. I do some feature stories on those that I pop up here in episodes. We're doing a whole series right now on sea lift, which I think is really interesting, and I'm hoping everyone's enjoying that. But if you want a little bit more, you want some granular information, you want some information that's, really unique and done by excellent historians and excellent practitioners in the field. You're getting maritime history, you're getting maritime heritage, you're getting nautical archaeology, you're getting everything you would want. Then head over to seahistory.org, take a look at it. Again, just browse the site. Again, you can go back and look at years of Sea History magazines there and pull them up and just leaf through them, read the articles. There are great articles in there that cover a variety of sources. Again, it's one of the most unique kind of aspects where you'll get that kind of 4 stories I gave you that cover, Navy, it covers Coast Guard, it covers Spanish treasure fleet, it covers a merchant in Oregon setting up a shipping line. That's the kind of great diversity you get in this, and I'm looking forward to what the National Maritime Historical Society brings forward in the future. I hope you enjoyed today's holiday mood. I mean, this is festive here. I got the tree lit up behind me. I got my holiday Hawaiian shirt on. We are just in full holiday mood here at What's Going On with Shipping. A couple of things coming forward here in the next week or so. Number one, myself and John Conrad are filming an episode where we're going to talk about the 5 top stories we each have on the past year that was 2022. I am doing my episode that we're going to do live, answering questions from my Patreon subscribers. So we're going to schedule that and get that up there in between Christmas and the New Year. I think that'll be a fun episode. We'll do it live so that you can come in, ask questions. I think it'll be a lot of time. I'll advertise that so we can set that up on the schedule. And again, just the news is coming in full force. There's still a lot going on with shipping. I'm not going anywhere. Matter of fact, we have expanded the family here at What's Going On with Shipping. Those of you know, earlier this year, I lost one of my employees. My longtime dog, Macy, passed away. And Macy would always sit in here when I did my episodes. And I got to say, it was a chore at times because Macy was a bit of a gassy dog. So there was a few episodes there where I was almost overcome by the dog. However, we have a new member of the crew here at What's Going On with Shipping. So, everybody, say hello to Maui. This is Maui, our newest addition to the family. We still have Peanut. Peanut is also a golden doodle, but Maui is now the latest addition to the group. He's doing really well. I didn't hear him bark. He was just lying here right under my chair. Got to be careful not to move the chair. So, from everybody here at What's Going On with Shipping, including Maui. Maui, come on, get in the picture. Stay framed. I got to teach him how to be a better YouTube. Yeah, I know. Until our next episode, this is Sal, signing off.